0. That's how many homeless residents a city must track after a sweep clears a Tenderloin sidewalk. Even after a settlement this year closed the legal fight over how those sweeps happen, the block gets emptier. The number that matters never gets counted. Welcome to Homeless in America. The Tenderloin is 50 blocks of century-old single-room hotels that have housed San Francisco's poorest residents for generations. The kind of housing most American cities tore down decades ago. Proof the city once built room for people with nothing. This year, those same blocks became the place where the city closed out the last legal fight over its power to clear them authority that's existed since 2024. Just no longer contested in court. What's still never been answered is where the people go after. If these stories move you, subscribe now. Part 1. Context and Crisis. The Tenderloin hasn't changed its footprint. 50 blocks of century-old single-room hotels, stacked floor over floor, the densest concentration of low-income housing left in San Francisco. What's changed is the official story. The city's 2026 count found 7,973 homeless residents, down 4% from 8,323 2 years before, with unsheltered homelessness falling to its lowest level since 2011. But the count method changed too this year. From a nighttime visual survey to a morning count requiring direct contact with each person, a shift researchers say makes the year-over-year comparison hard to trust either way. On the same blocks, a different number hasn't moved at all. Roughly 500 people still walk through one nonprofit's doors every single day for food and basic services, and this May, the city logged a record low of just 115 tents and structures, citywide, down from 155 in February. The fourth consecutive quarterly low since a settlement last September closed the final lawsuit over how the city is allowed to clear them. Behind one of those numbers is a person like the longtime Tenderloin resident who held the same rent-controlled room for over a decade, a senior, decades into a service job, exactly the kind of tenant this neighborhood's housing stock was supposed to hold onto for life. They weren't swept off a sidewalk, the room to a fire that gave no warning at all, one of at least 2 SRO fires in 6 months that together displaced well over 100 Tenderloin residents. The rehousing they were promised was still nowhere to be found nearly 2 months later. The official count tracks sidewalks. It was never built to track rooms or the people who fall out of them. To understand why, we have to look past the scoreboard at what actually happens to someone after they're displaced by a fire or by a notice in a city that was never required to follow them. Part 2. The Spiral Core Crisis Layer. Encampment Sweeps. To understand the sweep cycle, we have to look at it differently than a single event. This isn't about one morning, one block, one notice. It's a loop, and once you're inside it, geography becomes the trap. They are not people who refuse help. They are trapped in a system where the help and the danger run on 2 completely different clocks. A planned sweep comes with 48 hours notice. An unplanned one can come with just 1 hour. Spoken, not written, and anything left behind, unattended, can be removed in as little as 4. That's barely enough time to gather what you can carry, let alone find somewhere to carry it to. A shelter bed, meanwhile, runs through a 90-day reservation waitlist, and missing a single 3-day callback window sends you back to the bottom of that list, as if the wait never happened. Even when a bed exists, the city's largest housing operator can only house a little over 2,000 people across the entire city. So, the loop repeats. Notice, move, wait, miss the callback, move again, multiply that by however many people are cycling through right now, and the loop isn't a metaphor, it's a daily operating system. And here's the part. The official numbers never capture nothing in the sweep rules, and nothing in how the city counts its homeless population follows a person from the moment they're displaced to wherever they land next. A cleared sidewalk counts as success. It doesn't matter if the person who was on it is now somewhere worse. To see what that actually looks like, you have to follow one person past the moment the cameras stop. Part 3. faces, and the day. No one is born with a dream of sleeping on a Tenderloin sidewalk. Ask outreach workers who's been on these same few blocks the longest, and several will point to the same man, someone they know by name, who has survived in plain sight here for years. Every sweep cycle pushes him somewhere new. A notice, but never a guaranteed bed behind it. Eventually it pushed him onto a state-owned parcel just outside city lines. Land the city's own outreach teams have no jurisdiction to enter. He hasn't disappeared. He's just gone somewhere the help and the cameras don't reach. The help didn't move. Only he did. Pause. For people still inside the Tenderloin's edges, the day runs on its own clock. Morning starts with tracking the clearing schedule, not breakfast figuring out which blocks are due for the roughly twice-weekly cycle before crews arrive. Night means finding a spot quiet enough to avoid the next notice, sometimes on that same Caltrans land outside city jurisdiction, while staying close enough to walk to Ellis Street by sunrise, where the doors open and the food is free. No questions asked. In between, everything a person owns lives inside one backpack, not because it's enough, but because it's all that can move on an hour's notice. That backpack is the entire inventory of a life that used to include a room, a lease, an address. To understand how someone goes from holding a key to carrying a backpack, you have to look at what's actually standing in the way of getting that key back. Part 4. Locked doors and light section. A locked doors. This is not a personal failure. It is a cage with 3 sides and no door. Side 1. The speed mismatch. A sweep can move in 1 hour, while a shelter reservation takes 90 days. And a single missed 3-day callback sends you back to 0. Side 2. The supply ceiling. The city's largest master lease housing provider, the one organization built to absorb people exactly like this, can only house a little over 2,000 individuals citywide, and fire alone displaced at least 165 SRO residents in just 6 months this year, before a single sweep enters the count. Side 3. The one nobody official has to answer for. There is no system that follows a person from the moment they're displaced to wherever they land next. Not in the sweep rules. Not in the homeless count. A sidewalk can be measured as clear. The person who used to be on it is never measured at all. None of these 3 sides require anyone to do anything wrong. They just have to keep doing exactly what the rules already allow. Section B. Light. But there is a door in this cage, even if it's a narrow one. At 330 Ellis Street, Glide serves roughly 1,700 free meals a day across the city. No eligibility screening, no form to fill out first, just a plate, and the start of a conversation. For many, that meal is the first moment anyone has treated them as a person, instead of a problem to be relocated. A few blocks away at 126 Hyde Street, the Tenderloin Housing Clinic master leases 22 buildings across the city, runs case management for thousands of clients a year, and provides free legal representation to residents fighting eviction, including, increasingly, residents trying to get back into housing after a fire or a sweep took it from them. The path out doesn't start with a policy change. It starts smaller. From a conversation, to a case file, to a shelter slot, to a key in a hand. Neither organization can fix the speed mismatch or the supply ceiling on its own. But both are proof that the system's failures aren't inevitable. Someone, somewhere on these blocks, is already doing the tracking the city itself refuses to do. That's the part of this story that isn't measured in any official count either. Part 5. Hope plus outro. Not every door here stays locked. The Tenderloin Housing Clinic moves thousands of clients a year through casework and legal aid, some starting exactly where this episode started, with a meal and someone willing to ask a name instead of issuing a notice. A case file becomes an application becomes a move-in day. It's slow, and it's not nearly enough, but it's real. If the city ever decided to count outcomes the way it counts tents, stories like this one wouldn't be the exception. They'd be the standard. A city isn't measured by its tallest buildings, or even by how few tents are left on its sidewalks. It's measured by whether it can answer one question: where did the person who used to be there actually go? Subscribe, and tell us in the comments, what you think a city owes someone after it clears their block. In this moment, we offer a quiet prayer for every person experiencing homelessness in San Francisco. May you find safety in the days ahead. May gentle hands reach out to you with kindness. May the weight you carry begin to lighten. And may a warm, stable home soon welcome you back. Thank you for staying until the very end.